Types of sports with Schoode and Tor. Football discussion on the internet.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Schoode?
Well, I want to play a game. You want to play a game?
I'm down for a game real quick.
You like games? Here's the game. Did I start this guy on my fantasy football team? That's the game. Here's the game. Did I start this player right here on my fantasy football team?
Yeah.
This looks good, right? I'm up. Oh, no, I'm back down. That's not the scariest type of imagery in the game, is it?
I'd guess that you did start that man in fantasy.
Yeah. Now, the good thing is my team's so bad it doesn't matter anyway. Welcome, everybody, to both types of sports with Schoode and Tor football discussion. On the internet, game day edition. We've got it all hammered out for you here today. Tor, let me do this for the fine people if they're tuning in. Let's get the ticker up. So they don't want to close their eyes. They don't want to fall asleep because they'll miss you, babe, and they don't want to miss a thing. So let's get that up so people know what's coming up and what the scores are. Of course, the big game of the week started off first half, Tor. Barn burner, the two highest scoring offenses in all of the NFL. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens didn't score one touchdown in the first quarter. That has changed drastically since I walked downstairs to do this. Commanders have the ball, but it is now 27-13 Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium, controlling the game. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown, almost 300 yards passing. Derrick Henry's got a touchdown, and you and I have talked about this. They're exciting. You score points, but we have questions about their defense. They had no answers for Zay Flowers in the first half of this game, and I think that's probably what the difference has been so far.
Yeah, it's been the outside attack, and I thought that the line, like Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu, they had a great game last week, but you're facing up against Derrick Henry in this offense, so they've been spread pretty thin. And then you have the Mark Andrews renaissance, a touchdown, a couple other big catches, which you really don't love to be the team where a tight end that has become a definitely a secondary tight end on a team just starts exploding on you. But that's what Washington has historically done. It's a forgotten guy on an offense that you think that just won't step up, but he's in the NFL too, and he's making big plays and has been a difference maker.
He's a Jay Novacek type. He's a Mark Bavaro type. I mean, this is decades of old hurt. And I said this. I didn't even bring up Lamar and Derrick Henry. I said this is the type of game where a guy like Mark Andrews gets right. It's just traditionally that's been the case. Now, you said something last week that I think I poo-pooed a little bit, and that was this is a big game, no doubt, but the next game, the game afterwards where they respond, and I think it's the Panthers, right? Like that's going to be the game where you decide what their medal is. I typed this up as a tweet. It looks kind of silly now, but maybe you can extrapolate it and translate it into, instead of just in the context of one game, week to week. And that was, let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, here it is. So the most impressive part of what I saw the Commanders doing in the first half was Derrick Henry scored a touchdown. Ravens come up with a big play, and they'd respond. The offense would respond. They were still in the game. They were still controlling it. Now, I think they're going to be outclassed here. I think the Ravens are one of the best teams in the league. But one thing that we've seen, Tor, the entire season from them is some resilience, and the fact that if a bad play happens or someone throws a pick or there's a bad roughing call or whatever, they don't have that same mental weakness that every other Washington team that I've watched in the past 30 years seems to have had. And it'll be interesting to see if they do go on and they do I don't want to say lose ugly, but lose convincingly here, how they respond to it next week, like what you were saying earlier in the week on this show.
They need style points for sure. Watching a Kevin Boss or a Brent Selleck go for 2 touchdowns against you is typically deeming of a Washington team that would just roll over and lose by 30. But if they can keep it, I'm praying they keep it within 6.5. But if they can keep it at a respectable score, that helps them. It helps their brand. It helps their vision. To not get blown out by a really good team is important. It's really important. I'd say vital for them, not only just as a team standpoint, but for the fan base, because the yo-yoing that this team will put you through is immense. But if you can lose by 10, if you can lose by a respectable score, it keeps the faith a little bit in Jaden Daniels and the whole team. And then you just chalk it up to, yeah, the Ravens are legit. The Ravens are a legit contender this year, and we have a rookie quarterback and a lot of holes that we may need to fill in the offseason.
There's a lot on the plate for this 1 o'clock slate of games. The Saints and the Buccaneers. Raise your hand if you thought barn burner fucking score-a-palooza going on. Spencer Rattler getting the start. Gigantor. He showed a good mix-up, and Baker Mayfield looking like, again, an MVP candidate. 24-27. The Buccaneers are actually down in this game moving forward. They have 2nd and 4 on the Tampa Bay 14. Yeah, we see this with young quarterbacks. That's why it's going to be interesting with Drake Maye that's going to get an opportunity to play. Like, you don't know what to expect. And these are talented guys that were drafted for a reason. Sometimes they can come in and give you a little bit of a bump. I don't think the Saints are a better team than Tampa Bay, but we've seen this time and time again. It will be interesting. I want to talk about Jacksonville because the London Monster seems to be the eater of worlds when it comes to head coaches. They got to play again in London next week, right? And does Doug Peterson, they got an owner that owns teams over there. Like, that's kind of where he wants the team over there. Do we know? We believe that, right? He wants Jacksonville in London.
They had been the most rumored team to be the expanded for the.
What happened in London? I mean, this is even more embarrassing, I would assume. You're part of the culture over there.
God, yeah, Jesus. They get Patriots, Jaguars. If Bears, Jaguars wasn't enough for you, it's going to be a even better one. Tomorrow, we are punishing that country with the football that we're sending them. But the Saints Bucks game is one of these crazy, sloppy NFC South games, and it's typically between these two teams. They just lose the playbooks when they play, and it's Baker Mayfield has 3 picks. Well, all 3 picks were crazy batted balls that were tip drill. And now we have the ball back, and the Saints have 2 fumbles and a punt return touchdown. So it's a true toss-up. Bucks 3.5-point favorites going into this. I thought that was fair, probably just because we haven't seen this quarterback factor in Rattler, but he's been good. I am really unhappy that he's been good. I wanted to go out there and see him just unload in his britches, but he's not. He looks competent, and he looks confident. So that is not great, because I think if Derek Carr starts this game, the Bucks are up like 34-7.
Let me ask you something. What is going on with Olave in that offense? He has been at best the second option. Rashid Shaheed clearly is the big play maker on that team. And it looks like that Rattler already has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different receivers he's thrown to. If you would have told me that their offense would have been as prolific as it has been in 3 weeks so far, and Olave would have had the season that he's having, I wondered what's not clicking with him in that team right now.
Yeah, obviously Olave goes to the medical tent for, I think, concussion stuff. But even before that, non-factor. And I've been fighting
for weeks.
Ohio State fans because they keep on trying to claim wide receiver university. The best wide receiver since 2019. There was a big graphic thrown up yesterday. It's still Terry coming out of that school since 2019. And they're not wide receiver university. That's LSU. with Neighbors and Jefferson and Chase. That is wide receiver but Olave has not met the expectations. I think he's got sure hands. He's got good body control and a little bit of vertical speed, but the Saints have been a team that kind of makes do with whatever receiver has the best skill set for the offense. And that's Rashid Shaheed, who is looking again like Deshaun Jackson rather in 2011. Punt return touchdowns, big deep ball guy, a really reliable option on the outside also. So the whole Olave number one wide receiver thing, I don't think it's going to ever come to fruition. Maybe if he gets a better quarterback out of that offense, we could see it, but I think he would just be best served to be at number two with a really good number one next to him.
Getting back to Commanders and Ravens again, still 27-13, but the Commanders with the ball 3rd and 6 on the Baltimore 6 is what I have here, Tor. I don't know if you have that in front of you, but we knew that Brian Robinson wasn't going to be playing in this game. I don't know how much that changes. He didn't, he's been dealing with injuries. He was a game time decision last week. I think this is, if you're a Commanders fan, I see Enoch and some people in the chat that are coping with it. I don't take this as any kind of a fucking setback. You go on the road, you're competitive, you're making plays. This is a better team. If you win, this is a big upset, regardless of how many points they've scored or how popular they are, or how many bloviating fucking talking heads are on ESPN telling you they take Jaden Daniels over fill in the blank right now. They don't need to beat the Ravens right now. They need to beat the Carolina Panthers. Like, you need to beat the winless Cincinnati Bengals. Like, you continue beating those teams and stacking wins in the division, you're going to be in a much different space at the end of the year when it's like, okay, now it's important we start beating good teams. I don't think I get too depressed at the end of this game if it doesn't go their way.
No, I wouldn't at all, especially if they continue to put up a good fight, which is really all you can ask for. There's the adage, the internet adage, look at yourself from 5 years ago and see how far you've come.
I don't want to do that. Oh, I've come real far, Tor. Holy shit. That's the saddest thing you could have ever said to me.
You could do Washington from 8 months ago to now, and you've already gone a lifetime in difference between the two teams and how they've looked and how the culture's been. Dan Quinn's not a guy that just mails in a season or mails in a game or mails in a drive. So you fight back, you bounce back. It's kind of like the Oregon game last night, 2 top-tier matchups. One team had to win, but it was so close and competitive. It was like 32-31 final. You can't drop either of those teams. It was Oregon, Ohio State, 2-3. They're still both of them still ranked top 5. It's just a really good matchup, and neither team should be like glaringly upset or overly joyed about that game. Just respect that it was 2 good opponents facing off and hope that neither falls.
Someone failing, Tor, usually doesn't put any money in my pocket. I try for my own mental health, for selfish purposes, to kind of not root for others' shortcomings, if that makes sense, to not root for someone to get fired or someone to lose or blah, blah, blah. But there are exceptions, right? Like, I think we would make exceptions. One of the major exceptions I think that I feel comfortable sharing with you right now is I want this guy to get fucking fired. I want this guy to get his pound of flesh. The Philadelphia Eagles are in one right now with the Cleveland Browns, and I guess this broke before the show today, before the football games, is that Nancy Sirianni Martling decided that the way that he was going to show that he wanted a fresh start was to get the buzz cut. Now, here's the thing, Tor. I think most dudes look better with a buzz cut. I think this Private Pile looking motherfucker looks better with a buzz cut. But he's such a fucking hack. Like, everything he does is so cornballish and hackish behind the mic that it makes a perfect sense. All right, man, I'm going to shave my head out, Brad Pitt and Fight Club. It's time for a fresh start, and that means a fresh cut. Normally, I'm a fan of dudes shaving their heads, you specifically. But this cornball motherfucker, this just fits the brand for him.
I can't shave my head. It comes to a point, Schoode, and you know that. I can't do it. I'll look like an alien, okay? It doesn't work.
Please.
But this guy, it's always something with him. He can't just be like just a normal coach. He makes me appreciate the Andy Reid hamburger shtick, because it's just one thing with him. He's got a big mustache. He coaches he has got a winning team. His team always goes out there and fights their ass off. They don't mail it in. They wouldn't be tied at half with the Cleveland Browns. They just wouldn't. This dope, and you nailed it. He obviously watched Fight Club this week.
Of course.
He obviously did. And he's sitting here like, oh, this is the mentality. If we win it, I'm telling them about Fight Club, and everyone's going to watch Fight Club. And even in the bye week, there was like Jalen Hurts said, yeah, I got with Sirianni a couple times, and we had a couple really productive conversations and meetings. We hung out. It was good chemistry. We're on the same page. I don't think so. If you're on the same page with somebody, you don't go shave your head. You could go commando like this. It's not possible.
The first rule about yelling at Chiefs fans in the tunnel where they can't hear you is you don't talk about yelling in the Chiefs. Here's another thing, Tor. You want to they got AJ Brown back. They got Devonte Smith-Pelly back. They got fucking Saquon Barkley. They got Jalen Hurts. They got Dallas Goedert. I mean, what are we talking about here? You can't go out like the Browns aren't someone you can distance yourself from. You're out there going through you're going through your emotions with the Browns right now with Deshaun Watson and his 88 yards passing. Now, what looks good for the Eagles is that Jalen looks better and he has some touchdowns and he has some chemistry, but Jesus Christ, the Eagles weren't supposed to be, hey, this is a scrappy team that might fight their way to a wild card spot. This was a contender to win the NFC. And even in victory this week, they don't look like that team.
I'll say this. I love the Eagles-Browns uniform matchup today because it looks traditional. There's something about that 1:00 game, Eagles-Browns, where the Browns obviously don't change their uniforms. The Eagles, they try to tweak it. That's been aesthetically pleasing for me to see. It looks like a 2008 game, which I love. But this Eagles team is definitely flawed. This whole, I genuinely think they need to abandon the fourth down quarterback sneaking. It's not working as well. I know they got a first down on one, but it doesn't have the pop. It doesn't have the energy. They're too predictable. It's not working as well as it did last year. Where's the adapt? Where do they adapt?
Well, I mean, you also remember like that play was kind of revolutionary, right? Like they're the ones that put it on the map. Nobody else is doing it. Nobody else could execute it as well as they can. I think there's a reason why you're not seeing an overwhelming amount of teams with mobile quarterbacks relying on the tush push. Was this predictable toward this footage? Maybe this has something to do with it. Jason Kelsey.
I love how he chugs a beer.
Do you love how he chugs a beer? You love it, don't you?
Because he loves how he chugs a beer because nobody else does that.
This dude's chugging dong watching Kelsey chug a beer. Unbelievable.
It's like people are like, oh man, you think Bert Kreischer's going to take his shirt off? It's like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is going to end the win way, though, that you approve of. You just have to trust it.
That's so difficult. You're supposed to know this.
Oh boy! How much do you think that camera costs, Tor? You've worked in media for a while.
Oh, that camera is more than he makes in a year. All to record this goofball chugging a beer on top of an RV, and then all right through the sunroof. There we go.
There's a lot of L's surrounding the rise in infamy of the Kelsey brothers. So
I had a buddy.
That plays out.
I had a buddy this week that works for a golfing publication that I think is doing a story with Kelsey, and
somebody's doing well.
He's got a dream job, but you know he put out a couple of Instagram stories like, yeah, he's super chill. He's a real dude.
I'm sure,
and he's got a sweet swing, and it's not his fault that the media can't come up with anything else, that these companies just go for they just walk right up to the low-hanging fruit tree and they look at it and they say, oh, maybe we could use this. And then they look at the ground and they walk down the hill to the rotten fruit that has fallen off that tree and they pick it up and they start beating it to death. It's not his fault.
I know you don't know anything about pro wrestling. I don't think you do. But you know Roman Reigns is, right?
Familiar, yes.
So Roman Reigns is this big fucking handsome motherfucking Samoan dude from a family that like the Inoue family, like they breed wrestlers. They've been the top of the industry forever. And he was in an awesome stable, looks great, cool move set, but their fans never bought in. Like they couldn't get him over. And it took fucking years. He had all the tools, but the fans, like, they didn't buy it. Now, I'm not saying Jason Kelsey isn't popular, especially with the Eagles fans, but what I'm saying is, there's not a lot there. I'm the big goofy version. I wish people ask me about my brother. I chug beers. I take my shirt off. I do think if Jason, more than Travis, who is a fucking vapid yo boy, like I think that guy's a bag of terrible. But I think Jason, if he can find his Steve Urkel, like he can find his Yucko the clown, you know, like, all right, this is the gimmick that I need. I do think he can be a productive superstar in this world. But I don't know, him just standing there and dancing and chugging a beer and I'm retired now, like that wore off for me very quickly.
It just feels like a bit of idiocracy playing in here, where I like the professionals. If everyone around him was more grown up and adult, and all these people on TV were acting like the grown ups, and we just have this wacky figure, classic NFL character, let him be the character, that's fine. But everyone's just so dying to be a part of that same brand, that same breed of fun. They're not fun. You're not fun. Okay. You're a suit, and just be a suit, and people listen to suits. I listen to suits in pregame. I'd prefer to listen to a suit in pregame.
Jason Kelsey is a suit. Hey, did you see Stafford doing pregame stuff?
I hope he continues to do it. Stafford's infinitely likable. He's just the best.
All right, super chats are the best. Enoch, $2. Thank you, brother. Commanders coming down to earth tax. Well, yeah, I mean, if you believed that they were going to go out there and we're going to dominate the Ravens and this is a statement game and we're going to put our I don't know why they're competitive. They're one score away from them right now. They're 4-1. I would be very satisfied with their performance right now. Thank you for the
Terry's got 2 touchdowns, and the Ravens defense is good. Just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, Terry's renaissance is still occurring right now. They're down their starting running back. David Flaccoberry, $2. Dogfight with the Titans right now for David's Colts. I think they're winning at this point, 22-17. Will Levis actually has a touchdown pass. Flacco, man, he'll throw a pick and a touchdown within, you blink your eyes, and both of those things have happened. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Stephen Rowe has been a member for 1 month. Thank you for becoming a member of the YouTube channel. 4 touchdown day for Love, and I'm drunk watching the best football show on earth. It's a good day. Tell you what, man. I was printing out statistics about Jordan Love before the show in case this thing went off the rails, because it was looking grim for him. Gigantor, I might have saved it. I tell you what, the cure for what ails you is play the Cardinals when the Cardinals think they can accomplish something in this world. That's the time to do it. Oh, here it is. Jordan Love, 56% completion percentage going into this game, 31st in the NFL. This is a performance that he desperately needed.
Oh, big time. And he's getting a lot of people involved. He's getting Wicks involved, Reed's involved. Christian Watson caught a touchdown. Bad draft pick for me. And then also subsequently bad release from the fantasy team because somebody picked him up off of waivers immediately after. So but don't worry, I have Romeo Dobbs as a handcuff. He got a touchdown. He had another catch. He's getting people involved. Backup tight end getting catches. I know last week it was the Tucker Kraft show. He had 2 long touchdowns. But it's a huge game for him. This Cardinals team is starting to appear to be not good. I thought they would be better at this point. They're not. I don't think they like playing in the rain. I don't think they can handle playing in the Midwest. So
they can't handle playing anywhere other than the desert. What do you do with Kyler? I mean, bad quarterbacks getting paid was the theme of the offseason, in my opinion. And you see what the Jaguars are dealing with now. I mean, what do you do moving forward? I don't think that guy can take you to the next level, but there's only about 15 of these guys in the NFL that can play at the level he can when he's firing on all cylinders.
It's so when Kyler Murray is on, it's unreal because he overcomes the stature. He overcomes the bobblehead helmet. He overcomes the weird thickness that is also somewhat attractive. He overcomes a lot of things.
Fuck.
Oh, man.
The T-Rex arms.
Yeah. And he just makes these incredible passes, and you could tell he's dialed in. He's just not dialed in enough. And maybe the offense, I don't know. That offense is so just stale. It's stale. And if you were thinking the rookie receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to crack you out of it, that's not a healthy way to build an offense. He should be an accent piece to what the scheme is. Not, hey, we have a quarterback that can scramble out of the pocket and a big 6'3" receiver. That's not that doesn't take you to great heights. That gets you a first down every four drives.
Well, this is what it takes you to, unfortunately, now. If you missed this at the beginning, I don't know, man. I'll say this: it's early still. The crop of rookie wide receivers, Tor, fairly underwhelming. I mean, there's Brian Thomas Jr. has been great. He did nothing today. Nobody on offense for Jacksonville did anything today. But other than Neighbors, who's already been, did he have a concussion? I feel like he had at least a scare at some point while they were out there. Other than Neighbors, is there anybody that you're hanging your hat on right now. The Bears offense seems like it's picking up steam, and Keenan Allen got going today. There's still a lot of football to be played, but so far I was expecting a lot more out of a lot of these guys.
I was also. It's rough, and maybe defenses are catching up, and we're hitting a weird transition period in the NFL. But like Keon Coleman, haven't seen it. Xavier Legette in Carolina, decent, but he's on a garbage can team,
Right?
that is doing him no favors. Lad McConkey in Los Angeles, a couple decent touchdowns so far this year. I think he's going to be maybe like a 8 touchdown a year guy, maybe 9 touchdown a year guy. I don't ever see him becoming like a superstar wideout.
But that offense needs to find out what it is right now too. I mean, they're
Yeah.
still in the throes of that. This is an epic performance by Jordan Love. 22 of 31, 258, 4 touchdowns in this game. And he's just throwing the ball over the field. I think he's found 10 different receivers in this game. So he's seeing the field. Largemouth asked $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. Orange boy. You were offered the GM position in Jacksonville. Would you take it? I see no way to fix that team. Of course you take it. You take it to go out there and fail. Jeff Saturday said, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll be the head coach. Give me the reins. I'm going to go out there. What does Ron Bennington always say, Tor? He'd rather have the guy that stinks, but just give me the bat. I'm going to go out there and hit it rather than the guy that's a fucking, 5-star athlete, but he's a big pussy and shies away from the contact.
Let me
give
bring
me that
you back to
job.
life. I know I can do it. I know I can.
Yeah.
I'll do the first lobotomy on radio. Trust me, I can do it.
I think they start letting me cut and I can pull some of this stuff. How hard? Look, at the end of the day, what I would do is give me the most durable offensive lineman I can possibly have, and then I will supplement that with a pass rusher and a corner. And then after that, I'll try to go out and do some bargain hunting. And then if a quarterback presents itself, then we'll address that. I wouldn't be the desperate, thirsty assholes that some of these general managers are chasing after these quarterbacks and their supple buttocks in this league.
I mean, the Jaguars decided we are going to add every player that doesn't like holding on to the football. Evan Ingram, he had a good year. He had a good year last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago at this point, but he had like 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's great. But all we knew about Evan Ingram in New York, he drops the ball, he fumbles the ball, had a crucial fumble today. Trevor Lawrence, he's going to throw 3 picks a game. We are resigned to that fact. But if he's not throwing a pick, he needs the people that he's given the ball to not put it on the mat. And that's what they love doing more than anything, which is unfortunate. That's not great. I would get ball security guys. I'd get possession receivers. I'm not looking to take it over the top or go over the top if I'm rebuilding this team. I'm going to pull a Harbaugh. We have big, thick Tank Bigsby. ETN has forgotten how to play football, which is really unfortunate because he was uber talented, exciting, fast. He had shake, but it's over right now, at least in this spot. If he gets a change of scenery, he could be revived. I think he has that potential, but it's got to be a complete overhaul. Maybe ditch Trayvon Walker. Josh Hines Allen has been decent this year. I think he's had a sacks in multiple games, so I'd retain him. But yeah, top to bottom, it's pink slips.
Gabe Davis, 8 targets in that game. He had 2 touchdowns. I don't think that's good. That was in a lot of garbage time. But if I'm Chicago, Tor, so that's a 4 touchdown performance for Caleb Williams. Cole Kmet clearly has chemistry there. Keenan Allen's starting to look alive. I'm probably still concerned that Rome Odunze isn't a bigger part of this offense, but I'm almost happy that Jaden Daniels jumped out to the lead that he has, and all of this fucking attention is all over him. And look, take nothing away from Jaden. He feels way more comfortable to me with that spotlight on him than, whoever people are comparing him to, Griffin or whoever it is. But if I'm the Bears, it really did sop up a lot of the attention of Caleb Williams needing a little bit more time. And if he's going to come on, because I don't give a fuck how bad the Jags are. We talked about this last week. To go on the road, to go to London, to play against a team that really needs a win, that knows how to play, that's a big game for Caleb Williams. And if he needed a little bit more time, everybody's different. It probably helped them that there was so much of the corona of the sun surrounding Jaden Daniels' start to this season.
last 3 games for the Bears, they beat a heavily depleted Rams team, which was a good win because the Rams don't lose games like that. They don't lose to rookie quarterbacks. McVay always has a really well coached team. Then they get the baby soft Panthers. Let's get Caleb warm. Let's get him rolling.
Yeah.
And now you get the baby soft Jacksonville Jaguars. He throws 4 touchdowns, 4 good touchdowns.
Get some confidence.
Really good ball placements. It was a good game. It was a really good game for Caleb Williams today.
Did you see him earhole that one ball, though? Did you see him throw the ball into his offensive lineman's fucking earhole? I've never seen a pass like that in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks having a ball hit you in the back of the helmet, whether you're on the
Bro, it was in the ear. Would you go on Twitter, see if you can find it? Would you? I'd love to fucking I'd love to show that to the people. I've never seen a throw like that. Enoch, thank you for the $5 super chat. Come on, Dukes. You can't fault someone for playing the hits. Kelsey's going to chug in front of the camera. Dude, that was an Eagles tailgate. Of course I know he's going to chug in front of the camera. I don't go to Burt Kreischer shows. I don't fucking like gimmick anything. Like, I don't like you might be a redneck if. And I'm not shitting on the guy. Like, find your lane. Like, Larry the Cable Guy found his fucking lane and built himself an empire. You can do whatever you want to do. Enoch. I'm not a fan of it. All right. I'm not a fan of somebody repeating their catchphrase over and over again. I'm not a fan of, I got to come out in face paint or I got to come out dressed up like I just don't. That's not the way that I go when I want to support. I like the Reverend Peyton. I mean, he's one of the weirdest dudes on the fucking planet. Like, you got to have some depth if I'm going to be a fan. I'm sure Jason Kelsey's a fun guy to drink with. I don't care. I don't care about that at all.
Yeah, it gets hacky when you're getting paid 10, however much for a podcast, and then you just know it's just all a front facing bit.
Why didn't you just upload it to the fucking back?
I'm not in the. I don't have the access to the.
Why are you whoring me? You're fucking.
I'm not trying to.
You're fucking trying to kill me right now. All right, go ahead and read that super chat, would you?
Bill Chesley, $4.99. Thank you both for the best football talk. Yeah,
it is doing okay. I think it's all right, right?
Yeah,
it's the best.
Kyle Brandt's the best.
Kyle Brandt is the fucking man. All right, I think I got it here. I mean, I've never seen. Have you ever seen anything like this? Let me show this in case people don't fucking watch closely at 9 o'clock in the morning when there's football. And I don't blame you. I love getting up though, forgetting there's a game and then being rewarded. That is something that I enjoy. I mean, this fucking clown. Blah. I guess it is the face mask. I thought it was the ear hole.
No, it's awful. I mean, first of all, that says a lot of bad things about the offensive line. Because if you're opening up and looking back at the quarterback, you obviously missed your assignment and you're not doing your job. If you're looking at where the ball is being thrown from, that's a bad place to be.
He threw it hard enough, too, that it donked. Look at his whole fucking head moves.
It's a bad feeling.
It was a rough start for Caleb. He had a couple of bad plays, but ended up, like you said, 4 touchdowns. Not too shabby. Enoch, thank you, bud. And Bill Chesley, thank you for the super chats. We do accept super chats on the Both Types of Sports show. We're here gratis for your enjoyment, you silly geese. Rick Austin, 1111, 4 sticks for Jackie Martling and the Jersey Jetty. Hey, my ex-wife is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey! Oh! Thank you, Rick. No one else does that shtick for Sirianni. I don't know why, Tor. That's completely timely.
I've been diving deeper into Stern lately. Having a good time with it. I think Ralph is my favorite out of all the weirdos.
I'm trying to remember who said it. I was listening to a podcast this week, and they said if you took pre-2010 Howard Stern and loaded all those episodes into an AI, right, and had them generate an episode, and then take post-2016 Howard Stern, load all of those into an AI, and then compare those 2 episodes, would you even know they're the same fucking guy?
Stern had a tough week. After a certain interview, that dude had a tough go.
Here's where I can relate. Here's where I will apologize for Howard Stern. I have interviewed someone that I'm in love with and have not been able to keep it in my pants. It happened. It happened with Kyle Brandt this past week on Both Types of Sports. I have to sit there to be like, don't compliment him anymore. Don't say any more nice things. And Stern, God bless him. Maybe he's just getting older. He could not keep it in his pants. But credit to them. I mean, how many fucking places did Kamala Harris go? She did like 3 interviews. One of them was with that chick from the left Barstool, and then one of them was Stern, right?
Yeah, it was. I didn't like them making fun of you on Saturday Night Live when he made a career out of.
Can you fucking believe that Howard Stern said that?
That was just like, I don't even care who you're talking to at this point. I don't care if it's the most outrageous comic and they're making fun of a terrorist on Saturday Night Live. You're Howard Stern. You've made fun of everybody and anybody, and you're
deservedly so. By the way,
Yeah.
You should have been doing that,
I just
bro. And they made fun of Stern in the same. I mean, Trump in the same fucking the thing that he was worried about. The Saturday Night Live should be giving it to everybody. That's what they fucking should be doing.
Yes.
You know, and by the way, I'm not even fucking getting political. She don't want to hear that. I'm not a baby.
No.
Like I can get made fun of on Saturday Night Live. It's a fucking, a badge of honor, for fuck's sake. Couldn't believe it, man. I'll give you some segments that'll split your fucking wig. That it's the same guy that said that shit. Al Sal, $5. Thank you. Paying the fat tax and loving the mid-game show. Man, it's a mid-game show, by the way. You're absolutely right. Maybe that could be the slug line for the show. Yeah. We're a total mid-game show, Al Sal.
Yeah,
you get copyright for that. God damn. Breed Tracy, love you guys. Both types of sports is the best game day show. We've been told it's mid, Breed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate the kind words, but audience has spoken.
And I don't disagree. Thank you for the $5. $4.99 from Michael Slider. Cardinals getting blowed out. Fantasy team collapsing. Parlays busted, but at least I got BTOS. Oh, big verbal nod, Tor. I didn't realize this the last time we asked, but do you want to know? There's a new one. This is perfect. I was about to give him props, and he's already come up with a new version of it, and I know you're going to be a fan. Michael Slider is the man that created Tor Lawrence.
Oh, good God. What is this shit?
He's our own Calvin Walvin Tor when he had the fucking the Chris Stanley fucking Sagittarius picture. Tor Lawrence is the only man now that can save the Jacksonville Jaguars. And not only is Michael Slider responsible for creating him, but he also created our banner pick on Twitter, which is me and you instead of Colt Brennan and Chris Cooley fucking around in the end zone after beating the Cowboys. One of my favorite pictures ever.
They're really well done. I prefer the regular profile pic. Here's the thing, that headband with the hair flowing just off the sides of it, awful look for Trevor Lawrence. It doesn't look good for him. He looks like a soccer player.
It looks good on you here. I mean, you could pull it off.
I got to be hammered in that photo. I'm certain I was. I could tell the drunk smile. Jesus.
Well, you're standing upright, so there's a really good chance. Let me see if I can pull up okay, here's the other one. Everyone should be going over to our X page and looking at all these fantastic all this Photoshop.
That one's nice. I like that one.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's the best.
I'd like to be Colt, but I like how excited I am. And I think if you remember the original Tor, these two faces of ours actually fit the faces that Colt and Chris had in this photo.
Did you hear Romo today with the little slip calling them the Skins on the broadcast?
Everyone's been doing it lately. Like, if they think that's going away, it fucking ain't going away.
And he played against that team. Godfathered in. No, you played against the Redskins for 10 years, Tony Romo.
I like Jim Nantz. Like, I think Jim Nantz is probably one of the nicer men on earth, if I had to guess. That motherfucker at the beginning of the broadcast, and if I was still a Commanders fan, he goes, "We'll find out who runs the DMV." It's like, first of all, that's played and cringy. Secondly, is no one there to tell you, old man, that the DMV is Washington, D.C.? That would be like you saying, who runs Charm City? That's fucking Baltimore. You're asking who runs why would the Baltimore? It's just say Battle of the Beltways, because there's a beltway around each. You hack.
Yeah, DMV does not claim Baltimore, and Baltimore has done the same. We are not. It's very hostile on Twitter at times between the two.
And I'm actually mad that we here have been so lowered in Washington to like go back and forth with them, because it was always a little brother mentality. It's like Baltimore was always obsessed with DC, and DC had them on the pay no mind list. And I always think the hypocrisy of everyone in Baltimore being a Capitals fan when they're winning and just being like, yeah, we're all Caps fans. It's like, really? Then why aren't you fucking Redskins fans? You hackers.
The problem now is they only have two teams, and their baseball team is better than DC's baseball team, so that holds more weight. Yeah.
Also, but feel free to take the Baltimore Bullets back. Feel free. Monty Eskew, $9.99. What? Super chats are only for super BTOS graphics. Let's get it.
Now it's time for the NFL on X on both types of sports.
See, with $10 super chats, Tor, we can continue all this fabulous graphic design that we have on this show. I do want to I have some Devonte Adams news that I want to discuss with you because I can't believe we're still having this conversation. I can't believe Adam Schefter is just mouthpiecing it up for the Raiders right now, but we will get to that. Monty, thank you. Look at this, a $20 super chat. Gigantor Lawrence is incredible. I mean, can you even be a football fan if you're not in favor? But I thought we liked Trev Tor Lawrence. Would you rather be Gigantor Lawrence? Which would you rather be?
I think Trev Tor. Thank you, Bobby Double L. We appreciate it. Jesus Christ.
This is my favorite version of him.
He's so bad, I think I'm better than him. That's
Nice.
where I'm at with it. And that is a tough place to be. Could you imagine me ever thinking that?
No, you don't have a high opinion of yourself.
No. God.
Trev Tor Lawrence. So I went on and I said that the only man that can help the Jaguars, and it was very apparent, I thought, from the beginning of the game in London, they really didn't seem to have anything, but this is the only man, Trev Tor Lawrence. And look, I'm telling you, take a compliment, you crazy bastard. You can pull off Trevor Lawrence's look better than Trevor Lawrence can. Look at that. You look absolutely positively handsome there.
I like that. The flowing beard, the flowing hair. Oh, that beard's awful. You know, his neck's bigger than mine. My neck sucks. It's all weak and lame now. I used to do all the neck workouts where the guy would have to hold the head and you do the rolls. None of that. It's just a stupid string cheese holding up a big coconut.
String cheese holding up a coconut is, I have to assume, a canceled Jimmy Buffett album at some point during this.
Oh, God.
David G said Torver Lawrence. I'm telling you, I like Torver Lawrence, but I think Trev Tor Lawrence is just annoying enough. Thank you, Bobby Double L. $20 super chat is just what the doctor ordered. Absolutely spectacular. All right, Tor. So we'll keep you updated on all of the scores, but this was something that broke, I think, yesterday, and that was the notion that the Raiders might not trade Devonte Adams at all. Who's believing that? You, me, or the walls? No one thinks this is a thing, but it's clearly information that they are putting out there because the market is not as robust as they thought. And I didn't realize this, Tor. Not only are they saying they want a second-round pick, they don't want any type of a Russell Wilson situation where they're on the hook for any cash for Devonte Adams to play for the Bills or the Jets or whomever. I think they're a little too big for their britches right now. They actually want this to be a buyer's market.
Yeah, they're waiting for him to get cheaper. I think everybody is. It's about $1 million every single week that he's not traded off of his contract. So at least keep him in house, pay him while he's still there. But the trade deadline has to be coming up shortly, I believe. I still think he gets moved. I genuinely think that he's going to have to say, trade me. Just get me out of here. And he's going to have to beg, or else maybe just shuts himself down for the year. I'd hate to see it. He's still a very good wide receiver, and a year without him being impactful is a wasted year. And it's not good for the NFL to have that guy so disgruntled or having to catch passes from Minshew or O'Connell in an offense on a team that is already, punched their ticket to a top 10 draft pick.
I'm glad you brought up Aiden O'Connell, because if you want to throw another log on the bullshit fire, this was, I think, from yesterday where Schefter was on whatever the name of that Greenberg show is.
This morning, by the way, to an Instagram post from you saying that then going to Aiden O'Connell might mean that Devonte Adams is less likely to be traded.
Does anyone on earth believe that? Is there one person that believes that Aiden O'Connell could sway one wide receiver in this league to decide to switch to fluoride-less toothpaste, much less if they want to stay and play for the team?
Look at Brewski's jaw.
Fuck. What?
Look at that's majestic. I break my whole hand.
You think he's ever had any type of a roll of fat under there at all? Any type of a waddle type situation?
Are you kidding me? No, he came out. He was born with that jaw, and they said, "Jesus, you got a football player. You get him in pads as soon as you can." Oh,
how about those teeth? Was Rex Ryan born with those teeth?
The worst cocaine white teeth in show business. Chad Ochocinco's challenging him, but Rex Ryan's are just bad Florida fishing boat white veneer teeth.
Tor, why can't these fucking guys that are getting veneers, why don't the doctors say, listen, I know you got yellow teeth now and you want them to look better. We cannot put these fucking colored toilet tank lids into your mouth. You're going to look fucking ridiculous. Look at that shit.
In one of his biggest songs said, I don't like them big fake or those big cheap teeth. They're embarrassing. And that turned me all the way around where I started noticing it more, that there's a lot of big bad teeth running around the entertainment industry.
Big bad teeth. What other football show on the internet's going to give you a segment called Big Bad Teeth? Find it. Hit the like button.
Woke up this morning, by the way, to an Instagram post from you saying that them going to Aiden O'Connell might mean that Devonte Adams is less likely to be traded.
By the way, Brewski's hair, I mean, he's growing more hair. Eventually that hair is going to fucking join with his eyebrows. Take your head off, Tor. You've got Teddy Bruschi hair. Why don't you fucking embrace it? I mean, you got the same type of thing going on where if you skipped 2 haircuts, your hair would join up with your eyebrows and that fucking pube beard, and you would just have a big Wolfman look going on. They're like, everyone loves the Wolfman.
Nobody loves the Wolfman.
Everyone
Wolfman's
loves
a terror.
The Wolfman. They don't like the Mummy. Nobody cares about the Mummy. That's a wild suit.
The Mummy's cool.
Listen to this motherfucker lie.
There is not a strong trade market right now. I think the Raiders still would like to trade him, but the fact of the matter is Devonte Adams does like playing with Aiden O'Connell. This is very unsettled. There's a lot of ways it could go. We'll see how it shakes out.
All right, a lot of big stories out there.
You notice he didn't say what Greenberg said, that Aiden O'Connell would be enough to make Devonte Adams stay in. Here's what happened. They fucking gave him his marching orders, and he said, well, I'm not going to lie. I'll just say that Aiden O'Connell likes to play with Devonte Adams. If I had to guess, Tor, if I was a gambling man.
Yeah, that's what Schefter, who only works in, true clarity, ending of the segment with, let's see how it shakes out. That means I got nothing, pal, and you got nothing, and everyone knows me to be just someone that speaks facts and reports news. This is not news. You're bloviating, and I'm going to let you know about it.
I got nothing having motherfucker. 34-13 Packers still over the Cardinals. The Texans are having some success against the Patriots. I don't know if you had a chance to check in on that one, but it looks like they're performing adequately. 41-51. Drake Maye, though, 3 touchdowns in this performance. They gave him 28 attempts. He's thrown for 233 yards. He's run the ball a couple of times. If you're going to get baptism by fire, the 4-1 Texans are an interesting way to do it. I think the big story here is if Joe Mixon is on the field for the Houston Texans, I think they can beat anyone in this league. Now, they got to play defense. Some things that they're not playing their best football right now. They've been inconsistent. But when Mixon is out there, he is a fucking difference maker. And he causes mismatches all over the field, even with the injuries they have at wide receiver right now.
Yeah, the offense has way more juice. It's a better offense for the Texans. I think it takes a little bit of pressure off of C.J. Stroud, who I continue to forget it's his second year. It's his second year, and it's crazy how he's just dominated the respect of everyone to just completely forget how young he is. But having a veteran running back that can take some pressure off of you, where you don't need to make every single throw, is massive. I know Diggs is having a big day. And Drake Maye, he had a really good ball down the sideline, really good deep ball, and that's what you want from you. It's one of two things. You either want to see Jaden Daniels, who is just running a really good offense, a well-oiled machine, completing a bunch of passes, looking comfortable, or I want to see my young quarterback, taking immense shots down the field and connecting on them. Not ludicrous throwing it into the stands. Oh, goodness, I should have known.
Watch out, my outfit's ridiculous. In the club looking so conspicuous. I'm sorry, Tor, you were saying?
You want to see the big arm that you drafted. You want to see the big accuracy vertically that you drafted. And I think that's a good thing for Drake Maye to show off in this first game. And I know there's a bunch of annoying Patriots fans that are going to get more and more annoying as the weeks go on. I haven't been thinking about them at all this year, but they love raising their voices whenever there's a new quarterback in town, which is annoying. But if he keeps on showing signs of life, then they might actually have something in New England.
How about me raising my voice? I took the Texans giving 6.5 points, and they're going to win by 20. I mean, there was no more of a fucking. Did you grab it too?
Big time.
I mean,
money.
It's It's not every week, Tor, but sometimes you're just like, Vegas is trying to make good on how much they've fucked my butt over the years. Here's some free money for you. Thank you. I will take that, Las Vegas.
I had that free money, and then the Buccaneers 3.5. I thought was free money, and they are scaring me still, but they're up by 10 in the fourth, which I appreciate.
You appreciate the fact they're up by 10 on the fourth? You sit there spending your afternoon rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's how you do it?
I root for Baker. I have to. I root for Sean Tucker, who had a great touchdown in this game. He's just a really good athlete, came out of Syracuse. And somebody said Sean Tucker just Bucky Irving after Bucky Irving, Rachaad White. And I really like that this Tampa Bay backfield just has 3 dudes that are adequate, and they're just going to keep on taking games away from each other.
Boy. Hey, man, if you would have told me at the beginning of the day that the Ravens were going to win 30-23 and Jaden was going to have a couple of touchdowns and Zach Ertz was going to have a big day, and it was just the fact that, Zay Flowers went nuts. Look, Derrick Henry had 100. I mean, no one has stopped Derrick Henry this year. No one has stopped Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, even when the team loses for the most part. So I don't know, man. I would still take that as a positive. Maybe if I was still rooting for that team, I wouldn't. But I think Enoch should feel good about it. Torver Lawrence has the quarterback elusiveness of Bigfoot. How dare you, Enoch? Torver comes from
Enoch. I'm like Big Ben back there. All right, I'll give you a stiff arm and I'll get punched in my nose by Richard Seymour and have that leaking on the sideline. But I'm not running for the first downs.
You're coming from the heady days of Torver Lawrence is a throwback to the days of Dan Marino and Joe Montana and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, a man that steps confidently up in the pocket with his coffee cake hair, not running around like some chicken with his fucking head cut off like all you modern quarterbacks. With your Japanese anime and your fucking weird shoes, wearing Uggs out in public like you're not embarrassing your parents.
My favorite Japanese anime just went on a 6-month hiatus because I think a lot of the production team is getting sick, and that is a crushing blow. Really nice, not great.
Well, it gives you 6 months to blow dudes. Jeffrey Schools, $1.99. Thank you so much. My past throwbacks. Awful freaking teams. Woo! Hey, Schools, you knew they were going to fucking suck this year. If I didn't think Drake Maye should play at all. If Drake Maye goes out there and shows you, holy shit, this guy might be able to play quarterback in this league, that's more of a victory than I thought the Patriots could have this year. I didn't think he should play for 17 weeks, Tor.
Drake Maye took a vicious shot from Danielle Hunter, who looks like Mr. Universe.
He's a monster.
And he still got up and threw more touchdowns later in the game. Be happy that you got a guy that might be tough as nails back there. It's so vitally important. If he's not crumbling. Nobody looks like they get hurt more after every hit than Jacoby Brissett. And his toughness is unmatched. I know that was one of the big Mayo characterizations of him, is that we love his toughness, we love his grit. But he looks like he gets hurt every single time that he takes a shot. And Drake Maye got right back up and just stayed in the game.
Looks like it's a final 4-2. The Ravens have won 4 in a row. Gigantor. Bit of a statement here, too. Washington, if not the hottest team in football, one of the hottest teams. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson combined for 172 yards rushing. Off of 35 attempts. Lamar Jackson also threw for over 300 yards and a touchdown. That is an MVP caliber performance with Zay Flowers, the 9 catches off 9 targets, $132, and Mark Andrews getting back into the end zone. So, look, it went about as well as it could for the Ravens, and it was still a 1-score game. So I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, the Derrick Henry, I believe, tied for first in the NFL with touchdowns. Every week, I'll see him score a touchdown, and I'll get more and more mad at Jerry Jones. You should be embarrassed.
Can you imagine?
Could you ever imagine not calling him? And I'll bring it up. I will bring it up until my face is blue this entire year, because it's one of the biggest travesties in free agency that I may have ever seen in my life, to not give that guy a call.
Well, the other part about it, too, is, Tor, and I guess Shannon Sharp was the latest to come out and say what everybody has been saying, and that is that, they could have afforded Derrick Henry if they want. But, Tor, if you pick a team that needs a running back right now, right? There's a bunch of them out there. Derrick Henry didn't say, I want to play for that team. That's what makes this even more egregious, is that Derrick Henry had interest in playing. I'm sure he would look, I'm sure he's glad he's with the Ravens now, but he's a really good dude. And everyone says that he probably didn't want to stay in the AFC. He probably didn't want to, if he had his druthers, he'd like to go to the NFC to not have to, be in some sort of competition with the Titans or potentially see them in the postseason. Can you fucking imagine? That's what makes it even more embarrassing for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys is that motherfucker was the one thirsting after you.
Additionally, out of Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott having conversations with the head coach and OC about getting more red zone targets or carries in the red zone. He feels like he's being undervalued by this offense. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are we serious?
I admire sack on him and ridiculous balls. Will Levis, by the way, looks like the Colts are going to hold on to win. They got the ball with 2 left. It is 20-17. Will Levis, 93 yards passing and an interception, of course, because Will Levis. It sucks, Tor, because Tony Pollard makes plays for this team. They can run the football. They can play. If they just, I hate to say it because I've been saying it, if Mason Rudolph is in this game, they win it because Mason Rudolph is going to take care of the football and he can throw swing passes and hand the ball off. And it appears that Brian Callahan does not have the liberty the same way that Kevin Stefanski doesn't have any liberty right now when it comes to his quarterback position. That it is.
They're just handcuffed. Levis, 98 yards, an interception, and a devastating injury to a cameraman on the sidelines through this
I saw that. That was awful. And then he got up and did like the demonstrative first down thing. And I'm like, look, man, I know that it isn't your fault, but you just destroyed a guy on the fucking sideline. How about go over and at least check on him, give him a shoulder pat as he's dying on the fucking hash marks.
Yeah, obviously not malicious, but it always brings a little bit of like stark realism when you see somebody that's not an NFL player take an NFL hit or get rolled up on, and you're just like, oh, that's this 58-year-old sound guy that just got ran over. That's a really tough look.
Well, how about this, Tor? 44-27, by the way, Buccaneers. No, but this is going to sound ageist, and this is going to sound harsh. I don't think anybody under the age of over the age of 52 should be on an NFL sideline. How many times do you see these sideline judges? They call them ball boys. They're 70-year-old men. They get trucked. And I've seen as many of those types of individuals on the sidelines taking carts off the field this year as I've seen football players because A, they can't get out of the way. And B, when they do get hit, they've got the same knees and fucking hamstrings and shit that I got. They go down like a fucking sack of potatoes. This is a young man's game. Get him off the field.
There's the crowding on NFL sidelines is at an all-time high. I don't like it. Just have it the team, whatever coaches you need, and the athletic training staff, and have everyone else move way off to the side. Maybe it's way too congested. It's way too tight. I remember being on sidelines and there were reporters trying to walk behind you and they're getting clocked just because football players can't see them. They're 5'6". They're taking their helmets off. It's always a mess. I think good operation teams just try to limit that as much as they can with the get back coaches and all that other nonsense. But yeah, the NFL sidelines are just far too crowded.
The final, the Colts win. They improve to 3-3. The Titans drop to 1-4, 20-17. Embarrassing loss for the Tennessee Titans. Their season is over. Of course, Joe Flacco with 2 touchdowns. They're alive as long as they can keep that guy out there. They're going to be tempted to put the young rookie quarterback back in because they have to. But if they learn from what the Browns did and just leave Joe Flacco in there, the Colts are a playoff team. David Flacco-Berry, $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Levis MVP, but no Colts run game has me needing Jim's doctor text. Why? You're going to have a heart attack because they beat the Tennessee Titans? I mean, allegedly, if you didn't listen to the CD, yikes.
Sold out CD.
Sold out, brother. None left. Can you imagine? What is wrong with everybody? Commanders, we said, is a final. Jacksonville's a final. Still 5 minutes left in Buccaneers Saints. Looks like the Packers Texans final. Coming up, we got the Chargers and the Broncos. I believe that's already kicked off. Steelers Raiders already kicked off. Steelers up 3-0. And then at 4:25, Tor, one of the big national games, Falcons Panthers in Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium. I mean, some people are going to tune in to see Cowboys Lions, but I know where your heart truly lies.
Yeah, I am optimistic going into a game. It's the Carolina Panthers and they're bad, and I just need Atlanta to not be, I just play as you have been playing, and you should somewhat easily get by them. As long as Atlanta doesn't play down to the Carolina Panthers level, that would be great. I'd love to see this be a game where they flex their strength. Bijan Robinson has a big day. Tyler, get the run game going, get some confidence from the backs. We saw that Kirk had a huge game last Thursday night, 2 Thursday nights ago. That was great. I don't think he's going to go for 509 and 4 touchdowns again. That's unreasonable. Let me get some nice balanced offense. Just take care of a really bad team. That's all I ask for.
And hopefully that's what the Washington does to rebound again next week. Now, let me ask you this, Tor. Do you remember the scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker has taken all of the mob bosses' money and he's gotten it into this room and then he sets it on fire? Do you remember that part?
Yes.
That's what the NFL did by allowing CBS to stick a gun in their back and say, no, we're not going to flex Commanders Ravens to Sunday Night Football. You're going to have to go with what you got. And what they got is Bengals in Giants in one of the worst games of the week. I don't care that Joe Burrow and the offense is cranking in Cincinnati. I don't care that Malik Neighbors is one of the most exciting players in football. That's a dog water game. And Commanders Ravens lived up. How does the NFL not reserve the rights to say, okay, we're taking our game and we're putting it where we want. Here is a giant pile of money. Or, okay, CBS, we'll give you the schedule release. I don't know. Figure out a way for it to make sense for everybody and get the best game on Sunday night when everyone is watching your product. Somebody should fucking get fired and go to that meme where the guy tries to skate himself in the facility and the card doesn't work and he pulls on the fucking. That should happen to somebody, because we're going to have to watch this bullshit tonight.
I don't even know preseason how this could be a Sunday night matchup. I don't know how that's even feasible. New York market number 1, sure. New York Football Giants, 32nd best team in the NFL at a 32. They're hot garbage. The Bengals are good. The Bengals could be fun. That's fine. But I'm hoping to have a good proper drunk on before this game even kicks off, so I can just watch the football players running with the bright colors. That's where I have to be at for my interest level to be somewhat peaked in this matchup.
How much of a big throbber does ESPN are they walking around with, knowing that they have the Jets in a big game coming off that? By the way, lost in the shuffle of the Jets firing their head coach. They beat the Bills that aren't the best Bills that we've ever seen. They're in first place the week after they fired their head coach. They got to be just milking it. And then Hassan Reddick fired by his fucking agency group this week. That's kind of flying under the radar, is one of the crazier stories of this season as well. The last holdout, what a boob that guy is.
Yeah, the NFL continues to give, and it's going to determine the market for the player. As much as players think highly of themselves, they don't run the whole show. They got the numbers. That was their big crusade. They got everyone can wear whatever number that they want. That was great. I hate it, but that was a big win for the players.
I hate
After that, it doesn't. It's still a definite ownership majority in power within this league, because you just can't do it. You just can't walk in and say, I'm getting this much money. You have to trick somebody. You have to trick a dumb GM, and you have to get away with it before they catch on to you being unhealthy, to you being overvalued, all the other variables, locker room menace, whatever it is. You just have to trick these guys. Hassan Reddick couldn't trick him, or he just thought he could trick him some more. Not going to work.
He got offered the Jet. First of all, the owner's on television begging him to come in. They offered him apparently a deal where he was going to make way more money than he thought he was going to make, and they were going to take care of all of the fines leading up into this point. And now he's just waiting for a deadline where it's going to start eating into, like, who the fuck? How is there not one person around him saying, hey, man, you have a very limited amount of time, but you're going to make double-digit million dollars a year. Let's get this one in the hand, and then we'll worry about the new deal next year. I just can't imagine that.
Maybe he just thought he could get paid and not have to play. Maybe he just thought that was a possibility for him.
Trade me back to the Eagles. Oh, I'm sure. A couple of things. Please go to iTunes, Spotify, and subscribe to Both Types of Sports. Hit the like button, first of all, before you leave here, you motherfuckers. And then tell your normie friends that we do this every week. Even if they don't watch Monday's episode where Tor and I recap everything, or Sal's on Thursday. This is fun, huh? Have this on in the background. Are you watching all this bullshit shit? So tell a normie. And then, of course, if you're thinking about going to Florida to any of the parks this winter, please support our presenting sponsor and avoid all the fees and get yourself a beautiful house down there. DreamStayGetaways.us. There's a link at the bottom of the page. DreamStayGetaways.us, and go follow them on Instagram right now. Don't fuck around. Go follow them. It makes a difference. They're covering the cost of having Sal's on for the entire season for us. So that is a big deal. That's a big deal for us. All right, big man. Well, good luck. Boy, it would be fun for the show on Monday if they fucking Falcons somehow had a squeaker. Bijan going to get more than 11 touches? Please tell me that. So I was forced to fucking start him this week with Aaron Jones being on bye.
I think he's going to pick on Carolina today. I could see him just being a bully to the weaker team. I'm more focused on this uniform matchup between Denver and Los Angeles. It's stellar. Denver in an orange top, blue pants. Chargers white top, yellow pants. It is.
Oh, I like that.
It's really good. It's really good right now. Denver's an albatross on the field with a lot of their uniforms. This one's solid.
When did you see Colin Cowherd saying he would take Bo Nix over Brock Purdy on his show this week? Look up that clip.
I saw Colin Cowherd wearing grandmother sunglasses yesterday. So I'm taking a little respite from whatever he's putting out.
Here's the thing about Cowherd. I don't know if Skip Bayless believes everything that he says. I think Cowherd believes everything that he says, regardless of how insane it sounds. And I kind of respect him for that. It's like, I don't care if you guys, I love the fact that he goes on the backward hat jag and doesn't care that he sounds like the oldest man on the planet. Because let's be honest, Dan Quinn looks like a buffoon wearing a backward slouch cap, dad cap on the sideline every week. I fucking can't stand it.
I actually respect that he continues to vouch for Southern California. Wait, who could do that? Who continues to vouch for that?
Cowherd?
Yeah.
I thought Dan Quinn was. I was like, I missed that.
No, not Dan Quinn. Not Dan Quinn.
No. I think he's okay with SNL making fun of Kamala. If you know. Look at this motherfucker. This asshole was telling me to book tickets to Lafayette because we're going to have to stay that far away from New Orleans because there's going to be so many Commanders fans. And now we're ass. You're not ass, Mike from Don't Sleep. This take is ass. And the only reason why I will forgive it is because you single-handedly keep the show on the air many times during the week. This motherfucker, we're ass. Every Commanders fan, we're ass.
One score. 7.
Who do they think they are, Tor?
You lost by 7 with a very suspect defense and a rookie quarterback facing the best defense he's seen in the league so far. You should be cheering. You should be rolling down your street naked with a sparkler in your crack.
He's gonna
just
do it.
having a day celebrating a loss.
It's been a long time since you've been this good, Mike from Don't Sleep. A long ass time.
Hey, what do you got?
Both types of sports.
Yeah, what's it do? Go long. Real long. Nice toss.
Both types of sports.